Hello everyone. In the previous session we have studied the concept of skewness. So in this session let me explain one more important concept, and it is important. You will get definitely 5 mark question from this concept. It is called as correlation. That is correlation. So as the name itself indicates, it is correlation. In the sense, correlation is none other than it gives the relationship between two data, or we can say it gives the relationship between two series. Fine. Correlation is none other than it gives relationship between two series or two data, two set of data. I'll give you one good example in order to understand this concept better. Now let us consider a set of example. In the first case, we have taken a cost of watch and the quantity sold. So when a cost of watch is 35 rupees, then the quantity sold is 100. That is, number of pieces is 100 sold. Now when the cost increases from 35 to 40, the quantity sold will become 80. That is, it is decreasing from 100 to 80, right? Meaning is, let me take this as x and this as y. As x as y, or else let me say that suppose if x is increasing, in the sense 35 to 37, 37 to 40. So as x is increasing, you can note that y is decreasing, right? So if we keep on increasing x, y is keep on decreasing. Now let us consider the second case. So number of holidays is 20. Syllabus that has to be covered, or syllabus pending syllabus is 50%. So if the number of holidays is increased to 30, syllabus pending will be 70%. If the number of holidays is increased to 40, syllabus pending will be 80%. In this case, you can note that as we increase the x value, let me take this as x and this as y. If we increase the x value, then the syllabus pending is also increasing. So here also, when x increases, y increases, but here when x increases, y decreases. You can note here, see here x values are keep on increasing, but y values are keep on decreasing. Here as x values are increasing, y values is also increasing, right? So we say this is inversely proportional, this is directly proportional. Meaning is that you can note that in both the cases, one is related to other. Fine. So one is related to other. Correlation is used to represent, what we can say, correlation is used to find a relation between two kinds of data in such a way that one should be always related to other. So these are good examples to determine a correlation. Now remember that correlation always lies between 1 and -1. Fine. Suppose if r value is equal to 1, generally correlation is represented by small r. Suppose if small r is equal to 1, then we say correlation is perfect and it is positive. Fine. Suppose if small r is equal to -1, then we can say correlation is perfect but it is negative. Suppose if r is equal to 0, r is none other than correlation. Fine. Suppose if r is equal to 0, then we can say there is no correlation at all. I'll just give you a good example. Suppose let me take income of two companies. Fine, at X and Y. Fine, I have taken two company and I'm going to compare the relation between income of two companies, say X and Y. Suppose if there is a relation between X and Y, then we can say it is positively correlated, or else it is negatively, more or less related, so it is negatively correlated. If there is no comparison at all, so we can say it is no correlated. There is no correlation at all, we can say. Fine. So correlation is none other than it is a relation which gives the relationship between two series in such a way that those two series should be related. Either if increase in one quantity leads to decrease in other, or if increase in another quantity leads to increase in the other quantity. So hope you understand the concept of correlation. Fine. Now we have mainly two methods to find the correlation. Fine. First method is Carl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Don't get confusion. We have Carl-Pearson coefficient for skewness as well. But in correlation, we have two methods. First one is Carl-Pearson coefficient of correlation. Second one is rank correlation. Fine. Rank correlation is also called as Spearman rank correlation. Spearman rank correlation. Anyhow, I'll send you the notes of the same in group. You can copy. You just understand the concept. Fine. So to correlation, we have two methods: Carl-Pearson correlation and rank correlation. Rank correlation is also called as Spearman rank correlation. Now first let me explain Carl-Pearson coefficient of correlation. So Carl-Person coefficient of correlation, to find the correlation we use this method. And again in the Carl-Person method you have three methods. You please just rotate your mobile and you can see here. Fine. So formula for finding Carl-Person coefficient of correlation is, we have mainly three methods. First method we say it is actual mean method, assumed mean method, and it is one of the alternative formula to find Carl-Person. Anyhow I have listed in the same in order to avoid the confusion. But among these three formulas, first one is very important and we are making use of the first formula in almost all the problems. But anyhow, we need to practice these two formulas as well. And in most of the exam, this question is repeated for 2 marks. They'll ask like, write alternative formula to find Carl-Person coefficient of correlation. So we say this formula is alternative formula itself. So that is why I have mentioned this as alternative formula. Please go through this formula list, and this formula we use to find Carl-Person coefficient of correlation in actual mean method, assumed mean method, and alternate mean method. Alternate formula. It is just an alternate formula. It is not a method actually. Fine. So it is alternate formula in terms of standard deviation. So you have to remember this. Practice this formula very well. Anyhow, I am telling you once again, while doing the problem, you have to follow actual mean method only. Where, let me explain terms. R is none other than, as I already told you, coefficient of correlation is represented by R. So that is why I have written it as R. And dx is none other than, I have clearly mentioned, it is deviation of a variable x. So in problems, they will give two set of values like x and y. So dx represents deviation for the data x. dy represents deviation for the data y. So dx can be calculated by using x minus x bar. dy can be calculated by using y minus y bar. Whereas in assumed mean method, wherever you go for assumed mean method, you should calculate with reference to assumed mean only. But here you can calculate the mean by using the formula sigma x by n, and for y you are going to use the formula sigma y by n. One and the same. But anyhow, you need to practice these three formulas. Fine. Now, dx is none other than x minus a, but this formula is not asked so far. This formula is asked for 2 marks. That is, write the alternative formula for coefficient of correlation. Now, anyhow, you should remember this formula while solving the problems. We are going to use this. So first, you need to calculate the deviation of x and the deviation of y. Then multiply those two values. Afterwards, you have to take the summation. Fine. Now look at the denominator. So in the denominator, square root of summation of dx square into summation of dy square, where dx and dy can be calculated by the formula given here. Similarly, in assumed mean method also we can use this, but no need to practice this method. You just go through actual mean method. In this method, they will not particularly mention any method like solve by using actual mean method or solve by using assumed mean method. No, they'll never ask like that. Anyhow, you have to use actual mean method only. So it is very simple and time also consuming. But you can solve by using this formula also, but it takes lot of time. Fine. So that is why please go through actual mean method, and you have to practice this formula. Why? Because it is important for 2 marks, and the respective terms are explained here clearly. So that is why I have written clearly, and you need to, I'll just write here, need to practice all formula. It is just for your reference, and at the neck of the moment, if you are finding confusion to practice all the 3 formulas, at least you can go through first and last formula. Fine. So this is about Carl-Person's coefficient of correlation. So as I am doing the same concept in one session, that is introduction in one session. So here also I am doing the introduction of second method in this session only. While solving the problems, I'll just use the formula directly. So remember, Carl-Person coefficient, we use 3 methods, but anyhow, for solving problems, we use actual mean method only. So I'll do the problem so that you will understand. Next is, as I said, we have 2 methods. First one is Carl-Person and second one is rank correlation method. So we can say rank correlation as Spearman rank correlation. Why? Because it is introduced by Carl Spearman. So it is called as rank correlation or Spearman rank correlation. Now, coming to the concept of Spearman rank correlation, as the name itself indicate, rank correlation is none other than, it is calculated a correlation. Correlation is none other than a relationship between 2 series. So a relationship between 2 series is calculated with reference to rank given by the data. Fine. So I'll just repeat once again. If a rank of 2 characteristics of an individual is given or observation is given, based on the rank we are going to calculate the rank correlation. And this concept was introduced by Charles Edward Spearman. His full name is Charles Edward Spearman. So that is why we named after him. So it is called as Spearman rank correlation also. Fine. And remember, as I already told you, correlation is represented by R, whereas Karl-Persson coefficient is represented by R, whereas rank correlation is represented by rho. So this concept is also, this symbol is called as rho. Clear? You should remember. Now, again in Spearman rank correlation, we have two methods. Rank in the sense, I'll just give you one example. Suppose if X and Y data is given, like 5, 3, 6, 1, 2, let me take this as 9, 2, 5. So, rank scored by X, that is, it is represented by Rx. Rx is another rank of X. Now, we are going to allocate the rank for the variables X. Now, which is the first rank, which is the highest number here, is 5. So, this will considered as first rank. So, you are going to assign 1. Next, we are going to check for the next highest number, it is 6. So, we are going to assign it as second rank. Next, 3 is the least number. Anyhow, let me make it as say 4. So 4 is the next least number, so it is third rank. Similarly, rank of the variable y, you have to check for the highest number and assign 1 for it. That is first rank. Now second highest is 5, so let me assign it as 2. Next highest is 2, so it is third rank. Now look at the Rx value, that is rank of the variable x. Do we have any repeated rank values here? Clearly no, there is no repeated rank value. So if there is no repeated rank value, we will use one formula, and it is given by rho is equal to 1 minus 6 times sigma d square divided by n cube minus n, where d is none other than rank of x minus rank of y. Suppose if certain cases 5 mark is scored by 2 students, fine, then second rank will be assigned for 2 students. Right? In such case, we say this is repeated rank. So if rank is repeated, we will use the formula rho is equal to 1 minus 6 times summation of d square minus 1 by 12 times m cube minus m plus 1 by 12 times m cube minus m, plus it will keep on repeating. In the sense, we will use this formula based on number of repeated rank. If only one rank is repeated, we are going to use only this term, that is 1 by 12 into m cube minus m will be used one time. Suppose if the same rank is, if 2 ranks is repeated, like third rank is repeated twice, that is 2 rank is repeated, then we use one more term. If 3 ranks is repeated, same terms you have to repeat one more time. Like that we are using. But anyhow, we don't have such kind of problems in your syllabus. Anyhow, let me solve for the first one. That is, when a rank is not repeated, then we are going to use this formula. So here is a formula list for the same. So as I said, it is a Spearman rank correlation. So we can calculate the Spearman rank correlation by using these two formulas. When rank is not repeated, we have to use this formula, where d is given by rank of x minus rank of y. That is rank of the variable x minus rank of variable y. And n is clearly number of elements. You have to count the number of elements. When rank is repeated, you have to remember this formula. Clear? Hope so all the basic concepts is clear for you. This is what the concept regarding Karl-Persson coefficient of correlation and Spearman coefficient of correlation. So we have two methods, and one more key point is that when correlation will be always in between 1 and minus 1. If r is equal to 1, we say it is perfect correlated with positive, and r is equal to minus 1, it is negatively correlated. If r is equal to 0, then there will be no correlation. Now next, coming to the types of correlation. Let me explain the types of correlation. We have mainly 5 types of correlation. First one is positive correlation. So as the name itself indicates, it is positively correlated. In the sense, if you keep on increasing the x value, then y value is also increasing. Right? I'll just repeat. If two variables we have x and y, which is in the same direction. That is, if x is increasing, then y should also increase. Such kind of correlation is called as positive correlation. For example, I can give you good example for positive correlation as effort of a student. Let me take x as effort made by the student, or effort put by the student. Effort put by the student. If the effort increases, automatically mark is also increasing, right? So if effort of a student increases, then mark is also increasing. So it is direct correlation. That is positive correlation, we can say. Fine. So this is the first kind of correlation. Second kind is negative correlation. Negative correlation in the sense, as it is reverse of positive correlation. If x increasing, y should decrease. So I can give you a good example, as I already told you in the first case, or else let me give one more example. That if number of persons wearing mask increases, then the rate of corona will be decreasing, right? For negative correlation, I can give you this good example. If the number of persons wearing mask increases, then the rate of corona will be decreasing. That will be one of the example for negative correlation. That is, if increase in one quantity leading to decreasing another quantity. Fine. Next, third one is simple correlation. Simple correlation. Simple correlation in the sense, it is correlation, that is relation between only two variables are discussed. In terms of only two variables are discussed, that is one quantity should be depending on another, only two quantities. Well, I'll give you one example. Demand and price. Demand and price. If demand increases for a particular item, price is automatically increasing. Right? Here we are going to discuss with reference to only two variables. Let me take one more example. Demand, price, supply. Now you can note that when the demand increases, price is also increases, supply is also increases, right? In certain cases it may decrease. It depends on the manufacturer, right? Suppose if the demand increases, then demand decreases, it is better to tell you with reference to price. If price increases, then demand decreases. If price increases, then demand decreases, right? I'm extremely sorry. For a simple correlation, let me give you example, demand and price. If price increases, demand decreases, right? So similarly, let me consider one more example, demand, price and supply, right? If price increases, demand decreases, supply also increases. Why? Because if a price is high, supply is of the product is also high, right? If the price decreases, demand decreases. When the demand decreases, then supply will also decrease, right? Whenever you have highest demand, supply is also high. Whenever you have lowest demand, supply will become low, right? So when price increases, automatically demand decreases, supply is also decreases, right? If price decreases, then demand is also increases. For example, if a cost of a tomato, like any of the vegetables, say it is 2 rupees, then 20 rupees, then demand will be less. Supply will be less. Why? Because as there is no demand, supply will be less. If the cost of the same vegetable become 2 rupees, then demand is automatically increasing, then supply is also automatically increasing. It is just like clumsy. I'll just write here. If a price increases, then demand decreases, supply decreases. If a price decreases, then demand increases, supply is also increases, right? Now you can compare these two quantities. Since we are discussing with reference to only two variables, so it is a simple correlation. Now we are discussing the same with reference to more than two variables, so it is called as fourth type, that is multiple correlation. So this is the fourth type of correlation. Anyhow, only definitions will be expecting, so don't go for in-depth. I'm trying to explain the concept in-depth, right? Now, fourth one is multiple correlation, where we are going to discuss the relation between the variables, that is more than two variables. Fine. Now, the fifth one is linear correlation. As the name itself indicates, linear in the sense, whenever you're going to plot the graph, you should get a straight line. So after calculating the correlation, when you're going to draw the graph should follow like this. That is, you should get a straight line. Then such kind of correlation is called as linear correlation. Suppose if you are going to, after calculating the correlation, if you're going to get a flat, that is a graph, something like this, that is which is not a straight line. Such kind of correlation is called as non-linear correlation. Non-linear correlation. Hope so it is clear. So there are totally 6 kind of correlation. Positive correlation, where one increase in quantity also increases the other. Negative in the sense it is opposite. One increases, other decreases. Simple correlation in the sense it gives only about relation between two variables. Multiple in the sense it is more than two variables. Linear in the sense if you plot the correlation, you should get a straight line. If you plot the correlation, if you are going to get a curve or which is not a straight line, is called as non-linear correlation. So this is the basics regarding Karl-Pearson coefficient of correlation and rank correlation, or Spearman rank correlation, and types of correlation. Here is a problem where they are asked us to find the coefficient of correlation, but not the coefficient or what is the one more method we have, Karl-Pearson coefficient of correlation, or we can also say that as Spearman rank correlation. Fine. So if they mentioned it is rank correlation, you have to find Spearman rank correlation. But here it is not the case. We have to compute coefficient of correlation. So it is clearly Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation. Fine. So as I already given formula for Karl Pearson coefficient method. So here is a formula list I have already explained in the at the beginning of this session. So we have actual mean method and mean method, assumed mean method, and this is alternative formula. This will be useful only for our 2-mark question. So in almost all the problems we will be using actual mean method. So remember this formula. So I am going to write this formula here. So it is represented by small r. Small r is equal to summation dx into dy divided by square root of sigma of dx square into sigma of dy square. As I already told you that dx is calculated by using the formula x minus x bar. Dy can be calculated using the formula y minus y bar. I have just written the formula. Fine. And sigma x can be calculated by using the formula sigma x divided by n. Sigma y can be calculated by using sigma y divided by n. This is what the actual mean method. So throughout this session I am going to use the same formula. So you have to remember for Karl Pearson coefficient you have to remember this formula for solving the problem. Since in the question it is given to find the correlation. So if they asked you to find the rank correlation, then specifically they mention to find the rank correlation. In such case you are going to use this formula. Anyhow it is not asked here. We are intended to find only correlation value. So that is why I have listed this formula here. Now let me make a note of all the given data here. So x values is given to us. So let me write it 10, 14, 18, 22, 26, 30. Again y value is also given 18, 12, 24, 6, 30, 36. Now what is the required data for us? Dx, right? So dx can be calculated using the formula x minus x bar. Anyhow we need to calculate x bar, right? So I'm sorry, it is x bar and this is y bar. Formula for mean of x bar and y bar. X bar is none other than sigma x by n. So we have to add all the x values to get sigma x. So let me add all these values. Use the calculator. So if you add all these values, you will get 120. Similarly, let me add all these values. You will get sigma y is equal to 126. Where n is the number of data I have clearly told you. You just count the data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the value of capital N is equal to 6. Clear? So for now we can easily calculate x bar. Sigma x is equal to 120 divided by 6. Sigma y is equal to 126 divided by 6. So when you divide 6 2s, that is 20. X bar is 20. Similarly, let me calculate y bar value. Y bar is equal to 126 by 6. So you will get 21. So x bar value I have obtained, it is 20 and y bar value is 21. So at the beginning I'll just send you the notes. Introduction part. You just write down both rank correlation as well as correlation. That is Karl Pearson correlation. You just write down the concept and the formula. After that, you just put a heading problems and keep on writing these problems. So first problem is this one. Clear? Now let me calculate the value. Since we have obtained the value of x bar and y bar, with this I can calculate dx. So let me do that. Dx is x minus x bar. X bar is 20. Now keep on substituting. So 10 minus 20, it will give minus 10. Similarly, 14 minus x value is 14. 14 minus 20, you have to do. 14 minus 20 is minus 6. Similarly, 18 minus 20 is minus 2. 22 minus 20 is also plus 2. 26 plus 20, 26 minus 20 is plus 6. 30 minus 20 is 10. So I have calculated dx value. Next we need to calculate dy value. So here I have a formula. Dy is equal to y minus y bar. So y bar is 21. We have already calculated it. So let me subtract. Y is 18. 18 minus 21 is minus 3. Similarly, minus 6 minus 21. Fine. Y is 12. 12 minus 21. I'm repeating once again since we are calculating dy. Y minus y bar. So 18 minus 21 is minus 3. 12 minus 21 is minus 9. 24 minus 21 is 3. 6 minus 21 is minus 15. 30 minus 21, 9. 36 minus 21 is 15. So I have calculated dy value. Next what we required is dx square. So whatever the dx value you have, you just square it so that you will get dx square. Minus 10 square is 100. minus 6 square is 36, minus 2 square is 4, next plus 2 square is 4, 6 square is 36, 10 square is 100. So I have squared all the dx values to get dx square. Similarly, we need dy square. So whatever dy is there, you just square it. Minus 3 square is 9, minus 9 square is 81. Next 3 square is 9. Next minus 15 square is 225. 9 square is 81. 15 square is 225. So I have done dy square. Next what we required is dx into dy. So we have to multiply the column dx with dy. Dx is none other than deviation with respect to x data, deviation with respect to y data. So now I am going to multiply this. Minus into minus plus. So 10 3s are 30. Next minus into minus plus. 9 6 are 54. Next minus into plus minus. So 2 3s are minus 6. 2 into 15 is, minus 15 is minus 30. 6 into 9 is 54. Next 10 into 15 is 150. So I have calculated dx into dy. Now we need sum of dx square, sum of dy square and sum of dx into dy. So let me calculate sum of dx square, that is summation. You just add 100 plus 36 plus 4 plus 4 plus 36 plus 100. So if you do, you will get 280. Similarly, summation of dy square. You just add all the values of dy square. 9 plus 81 plus 9 plus 225 plus 81 plus 225. So when you add all these values, you will get 630. Similarly, you add all these values, that is sigma dx into dy. So if you use the calculator, if you add all these values, you will get 252. Fine, I'll just repeat once again. In the given problem, whenever they ask you to find the rank correlation, then only you can go for Spearman rank correlation. If not, you have to do Karl-Persson correlation. So this is what the required correlation is. Fine. And I already said that at the beginning, correlation will be lies between 1 and minus 1. That is plus 1 and minus 1. Here you can note that correlation is 0.6. Obviously, it is in between plus 1 and minus 1. So, whatever the answer that is you are going to get for a correlation, that will be in between minus 1 and plus 1. Fine. So, let me solve one more problem of finding a correlation. So, here is a problem. We have to find the coefficient of correlation. Again, there is no rank correlation is mentioned. So, it is coefficient of correlation. In the sense, we have to find Spearman rank correlation. Karl-Persson rank correlation. To find the coefficient of correlation, in the sense we have to find only Karl-Persson coefficient of correlation. Whenever rank correlation is mentioned, then only you can go for Spearman rank correlation. Since there is no term rank here, so we have to do Karl-Persson coefficient of correlation. First step, whatever the data is given to us, you just write down as it is. So let me write the data. X and Y is given to us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Y is 10, 12, 16, 28, 25, 36, 41, 49, 40, 50. Now just you write down the formula. Formula for coefficient of correlation is, that is Karl-Persson coefficient of correlation is summation of dx into dy divided by square root of summation of dx square into summation of dy square. Right? So dx can be calculated by using the formula, as I already told you. It is given by x minus x bar, and dy can be calculated by y minus y bar. Again, x bar can be calculated by sigma x divided by n. Now sigma x is none other than, you have to add all these values. Use calculator, add all these values, that is x column values, you will get 55. Similarly, add all the y values, that is 10, 12, 16, 28 plus 25 plus 36 plus 41 plus 49 plus 40 plus 50. So if you add all these value, you will get 307. Now count the number of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So n value is 10. Now substitute, you will get x bar as 55 divided by 10. Fine. So after simplification, you will get x bar as 5.5. Fine. Similarly, let me calculate y. That is y bar. Y bar is given by sigma y divided by n. Sigma y value is 307 divided by 10. That will give you 30.7. So I have calculated y bar value also. Fine. Now let me calculate d is equal to x minus x bar. D is equal to x minus x bar. Anyhow, it is capital letter only. If you want, you can write it represent by small letter also. It doesn't matter. So x minus x bar. X bar value is 5.5. So subtract 1 minus 5.5 you have to do. You will get minus 4.5. 2 minus 5.5 minus 3.5. 3 minus 5.5 minus 2.5. Then 4 minus 5.5 is minus 1.5. 5 minus 5.5 is 0.5. So 5 minus 5.5 is minus 0.5. 6 minus 5.5 is plus 0.5. 7 minus 5.5 is 1.5. 8 minus 5.5 is 2.5. 9 minus 5.5 is 3.5. 10 minus 5.5 is 4.5. Now similarly let me calculate this is dx value, dy as y minus y bar. So here you have y values and y bar I have calculated, it is 30.7. Fine, y bar is 30.7. So let me subtract it from y values, that is 10 minus 30.7 will give you minus 20.7. 12 minus 30.7 minus 18.7. 16 minus 30.7 is minus 14.7. So 28 minus 30.7 is minus 2.7. 25 minus 30.7 minus 5.7. Next 36 minus 30.7 is plus 5.3. Next is 41. 41 minus 30.7 is 10.3. 49 minus 30.7 is 18.3. 40 minus 30.7, use calculator, 9.3. 50 minus 30.7, it is 19.3. Fine. So I have calculated dy. As I told you, we need dx square. Why? Because in the formula we have a term dx square and dy square. So whatever the value you have obtained here, you just square it. So minus 4.5 whole square. Minus 4.5 whole square. Minus square will become plus. So it doesn't matter. You can write directly it is positive. So 20.25. Similarly, dx is minus 3.5 whole square is 12.25. Minus 2.5 whole square 6.25. Minus 1.5 whole square is 2.25. Minus 0.5 whole square is 0.25. Again plus 0.5 whole square is 0.25. 1.5 whole square 2.25. 2.5 whole square 6.25. 3.5 whole square 12.25. 4.5 whole square 20.25. Just for square you need to press cap, that's all. Dy square in the sense whatever you have in the dy column you have to calculate square of that value. Let me show you one calculation. Here dy is minus 20.7. You just press minus 20.7 cap 2. So what you're going to get, I'm sorry, when you're going to press along with the minus, you have to put bracket. Otherwise, you just leave minus and put a cap for that. I'll show you here along with the sign, that is minus 20.7 close bracket whole cap 2. So that will give you 428.49. Otherwise, you can also do like minus square is plus. So you can do 20.7 whole cap 2. So you'll get the same answer. Similarly, second one is minus 18.7. Minus 18.7, right? So minus, put the bracket, minus 18.7 whole cap 2. You can look at the calculation. This is also very important while using the calculator. If you put along with the minus, you have to put bracket. Otherwise, you will get negative sign. Then every entire answer will go wrong. Fine. So you have to remember that. See here, minus 14.7 whole cap. Close the bracket, whole cap. You will get 216.09. Similarly, minus 2.7 whole square is 7.29. Fine. Next dy value is minus 5.7 whole square is 32.49. Plus 5.3 whole square is 28.09. Plus 10.3 whole square is 106.09. Next 18.3 whole square is 334.89. Next 9.3 whole square 86.49. 19.3 whole square 372.49. Now dx square and dy square I have done here. I have calculated. What else we required is dx into dy value. That is we have to multiply it. Dx value I have already done here and dy value I have done here. Now I am going to multiply those two to get dx into dy value. Fine. So we have to do multiplication for these two columns. Let me multiply. Minus into minus will become plus. Now I'll just show you. You just leave minus sign. Minus into minus will become plus. Next 4.5 into 20.7. So you will get 93.15. Fine. Similarly, 3.5 into 18.7. So 65.45. Clear? Similarly, 2.5 minus 2.5 into minus 14.5. Minus into minus will become plus. So 36.75. Next, minus into minus plus 1.5 into 2.7 is 4.05. Next, minus into minus plus 0.5 into 5.7 is 2.85. Again 0.5 into 5.3. Since plus into plus anyhow it is plus only. So 2.65. 1.5 into 10.3 is 15.45. Next 2.5 into 18.3 is 45.75. So 3.5 into 9.3 it is 32.55. Next 45 into 4.5 into 19.3 you will get 86.85. Fine. Now we need sum of all those columns. So let me add the values. That is, let me calculate summation of dx square. So you need to add all these values of dx square. So use calculator. If you add, you will get 82.5. Similarly, add all these values. You will get dy square as 1962.1. Now we have to add summation dx and into dy. So you will get 385.5. Clear? It is 385.5. Now we need to substitute all in the formula. That is r is equal to dx dot dy summation is 385.5 divided by square root of dx square is 82.5 into dy square is 1962.5. I'm sorry, 62 into 0.1. Now I'll just show you the calculation. If you want, you can do it in one shot. So first you simplify the denominator. 82.5 into 1962.1. So multiplication is over. Next take square root for it. Square root of answer. So you will get this. Next you press numerator value. 385.5 divided by answer. So the total answer is 0.9581. So if you are finding difficulty to calculate in one shot, you can write the steps. That is, first you multiply this and write down the value. Again you can do this. See, I am showing in calculator how can you do this in one shot. See here, first you multiply 82.5 whatever in the denominator, that is inside the square root, 1962.1. Fine. Press equal sign. You will get the answer. You have to take square root and press answer. So you will get this answer. So now this is the answer for denominator. Now what is the value you have in numerator? You don't touch anything. You just type numerator 1385.5 divided by denominator answer we have already calculated. So put answer. That will give you the final answer. Therefore the coefficient of correlation by Karl-Pearson method is given by 0.9581. Fine. So this is the method. You need to remember the formula, and moreover these values should be in between -1 and +1. Hope so it is clear. So problem is lengthy. You have to practice well in order to pick up the time. Anyhow, let me solve one more problem. So here is a problem. We have to calculate the coefficient of correlation as usual. So we need to calculate the Karl-Pearson coefficient of correlation. First let me list the data given. It is 92, 89, 87, 86, 83, 77, 71, 63, 53, 50. Next y is 86, 83, 91, 77, 68. Here no talk about any frequency and all. No group data, no ungrouped data, nothing will be there. Only whether it is depending upon rank, then we go for Spearman rank correlation. If it is not given as a rank, then we go for Karl-Pearson coefficient of correlation. So here there is no kind of discrete or ungrouped or continuous series. So only thing is you need to remember the formula. Now first step, you just write down what is the given data as it is. Now write down the formula. What is the formula for correlation? It is given by r is equal to summation of, in all the methods you use this formula only, dx into dy divided by square root of summation of dx square into summation of dy square, where dx is given by, as I already told you, it is x minus x bar, dy is given by y minus y bar. So x bar, how can you calculate x bar? As x bar is given by sigma x divided by n, and y bar is given by sigma y divided by n. First you write down the data and write down the formula list. Fine. Now you add all the x values. Use the calculator. You add all these x values and take this as sigma of x. So you will get 751. Similarly, use calculator. Calculate all the values of y. In the sense, you just add all these values. So you will get 718. So x values, sum of x values and sum of y values are obtained. Now count the number of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So n value is 10. Now come to calculate mean. So x bar is given by, it is sigma x. Sigma x is none other than 751 divided by n is 10. So when you divide, you will get 75.1. Similarly, sigma y is 718 divided by 10. So you will get 71.8. So I have calculated x bar as well as y bar. Now let me calculate dx and dy. So dx is given by, what is the formula to calculate dx? It is x minus x bar. Anyhow, we have calculated x bar here. It is 75.1. So now let me substitute here. That is, x bar is 75.1. So here the value of x is 92. You just do subtraction. That is 92 minus 75.1. It is 16.9. 89 minus 75.1. 13.9. Fine. Similarly, 87 minus 75.1. You will get 11.9. 86 minus 75.1 is 10.9. 83 minus 75.1, 7.9. And 77 minus 75.5 is, it is obviously 1.9. 71 minus 75.9 is minus 4.1. 63 minus 75.1 is minus 12.1. Please take care of the signs since it is smallest value. If you put in a calculator, you will get, see here, 53 minus 75.1. You will get minus 22.1. Next, 50 minus 75.1. It is minus 25.1. Fine. Dx values is done. Next, let me calculate dy. It is y minus y bar. What is the value of y bar? As we already calculated, it is 71.8. Now we have to subtract y values from y bar. So what is the value of y here? 86. 86 minus 71.5. Clear? 86 minus 71.8 is 14.2. Fine. Similarly, 83 minus 71.8 is, let me calculate here. 83 minus 71.8 is 112. I'm sorry, 11.2 it is. See here, it is 11.2. Point is there. So it is 11.2. Similarly, let me simplify. Y value is 91. So it is 91 minus y bar is 71.8. You will get 19.2. 77 minus 71.2, 5.2. And 68 minus 71.8, you will get minus 3.5. 85 minus 71.8, you will get 13.2. Next, 52 minus 71.8 minus 19.8. Next, 82 minus 71.8, you will get 10.2. Next, 37 minus 71.8, you will get minus 38.1. 57 minus 71.8. 57 minus 71.8, you will get it as minus 14.8. Fine. Now we have calculated dx and dy. Let me calculate dx square. Whatever we have dx, you just square it. You will get dx square. So 16.9 whole square, it is 285.61. Next, 13.9 whole square, 193.21. Fine. 11.9 whole square, 141.61. 10.9 whole square, 118.81. 7.9 whole square is 62.41. 1.9 whole square, 3.61. Minus 4.1 whole square, 16.81. Minus 12.1 whole square, 146.41. Next, minus 22.1 whole square, 488.41. Minus 25.1 whole square, 630.01. So dx square I have obtained. Now let me go for dy square. Whatever the dy values is there, you just square it, you will get dy square. So 14.2 whole square is 201.64. Next, dy is 11.2 whole square, it is 125.44. Next 19.2 whole square, 368.64. 5.2 whole square, 27.04. Minus 3.5 whole square, 12.25. 13.2 whole square, 174.24. Minus 19.8 whole square, it is 392.04. 10.2 whole square, 104.04. Minus 38.1 whole square, it is 1451.61. Next, minus 14.8 whole square, 219.04. So I have squared just dy values. Whatever the values you have for dy, you just square it, you will get dy square. Fine. Now what else we need is numerator, that is dx into dy. You just multiply dx column with dy column. Fine. Now I am going to multiply dx with dy. dx is 16.9. 16.9 into dy is 14.2. So you will get 239.98. Similarly, 13.9 into 112. dy is, 11.2 it is. 13.9 into 11.2 is 155.68. Now dx is 11.9 into 19.2. You will get 228.48. 10.9 into 5.2, 56.68. Next, plus into minus, minus 7.9 into 3.5, minus 27.65. Next, 1.9 into 13.9 is 25.08. Next, I'll just cross check this. 13.2 into 1.9. Yeah, it is 25.08. Similarly, minus into minus plus 4.1 into 19.8. It is 81.18. Next, 12 minus into plus minus 12.1 into 10.2. It is 123.42. Next, 22.1 minus into minus will be plus. So 22.1 into 38.1. You will get 842.01. Next, dx value minus into minus will be plus 25.1 into 14.8. So you will get 371.48. Fine. Now I need to calculate sum of the values of dx square, dy square and their product sum. So let me calculate sum of dx square. In the sense, you have to add all the values of the dx column. So when you add this, you will get dx square as 2086.9. Similarly, you add all these column, you will get dy square. Summation of dy square will be 3075.98. Similarly, when you add this, you will get dx into dy. So the sum of this column will be, you just add all these values, use the calculator, you will get 1849.5. Clear? I have added all these values and I have noted here. Now we have to substitute these values in the given formula. Now r is equal to, what is the value of summation of dx dot dy? It is 1849.5 divided by square root of dx square is 2086.9 into dy square is 3075.98. Fine. So when you simplify this value, you will get 1849.5 divided by 2533.6263. Use calculator if you want to calculate in one shot. So this implies r value will be equal to, if you divide this, you will get 0.7299. Obviously it is in between minus 1 and plus 1. So this is the required coefficient of correlation, or we can say it is coefficient of Karl-Pearson coefficient of correlation. One and the same. Hope so it is clear. Only thing is, you need to remember the formula and you have to take care of signs along with the simplification by using calculator. Fine. So while using the calculator, please make sure you are doing it correct. So let me solve one more problem of the same method. Here is a problem. Read the question carefully. Here you have two sub questions. First one, we have to calculate the coefficient of correlation between the income and weight, that is two set of data, and we have to comment on the result. After finding the coefficient of correlation, we have to comment the result. So let me solve this. Let us take income as x and weight as y, one and the same. So x will be noted here. It is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Now let me take y values here. It is 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170. Fine. As usual, write down the formula for coefficient of correlation. R is equal to sigma of dx dot dy divided by square root of dx square summation dx square into summation dy square. First write down the formula. As I already told you, dx will be x minus x bar and dy will be y minus y bar. Right? And moreover, square root should be there for both the terms. Remember, in the denominator while writing the formula, you just take care of square root. And x bar is calculated by using the formula sigma x divided by n. Similarly, y bar can be calculated by using sigma y divided by n. Now, x values and y values is given to us. Let me calculate sigma x and sigma y. That is, you need to add all the values of x and all the values of y which is given. So, let me add these values. So, sigma x will be, you add all these values so that you will get 2100. Fine. Similarly, if you add all these values, you will get sigma y as 870. Fine. With this, mean will become 2100 divided by, count the number of data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 6. When you divide, you will get 350. So sigma y is 870 divided by 6. So you will get y bar as 145. So once you're done with the means, that is x bar and y bar, you can easily calculate dx and dy. So let me calculate dx and dy by using the formula that what I have written here. Fine. Dx is equal to x minus x bar. So you have to subtract. X bar is 350. Fine. 100 minus 350 minus 250. 200 minus 350 minus 150. 300 minus 350 is minus 50. Next 400 minus 350 is plus 50. 500 minus 350 is 150. Similarly 600 minus 350 is 250. Fine. Next let us calculate dy value. It is given by y minus y bar. Fine. So y bar is 145. Y values you have here. So 120 minus 145 is minus 25. 130 minus 145 is minus 15. Next 140 minus 145 is minus 5. 150 minus 145 is plus 5. 160 minus 145 15. 170 minus 145 is 25. So I have calculated dy value. Next square it, so that you will get dx square. So whatever the value you have in dx, you just square it. Minus 250 whole square is 62500. Minus 150 whole square is 22500. Next minus 50 whole square is 2500. Next plus 50 whole square is also 2500. Next 150 whole square is 22500. Next 250 whole square is 62500. Fine. So dx square I have done. Next dy square, whatever you have dy, you just square it. So you will get minus 25 whole square is 625. Minus 15 whole square is 225. 5 square is 25. Again 5 square is 25. 15 square is 225. 25 square is 625. So I have done dy square. Next we have to calculate dx into dy. As per the requirement of the problem, dx into dy will be obtained by multiplying this column with this. So minus into minus will become plus. So you just multiply the values. 250 into 25. That will give you 6250. Fine. Next value is dx is 150. Anyhow minus into minus will become plus. 150 into 15 will give you 2250. Next minus 50 into 5. It is 250. Again plus 50 into 5 is 250. 150 into 15 is 2250. Next 250 into 25 is, it is 6250. So I have multiplied dx with dy column. I have obtained this. Next we need the values of sum of dx square and dy square. You just add all these values, use the calculator. So if you add all the columns, all these values, you will get 1,75,000. Clear? Similarly, you add all these values, that is dy column. Use the calculator, you add all these values, so you will get 1750. Similarly, we need this, that is summation of dx into dy. Fine. So when you add all these values, you will get 17,500. Clear? Now with these values, let me calculate the correlation. It is given by 17500 divided by square root of the summation x square value is 17500 into 1750. Fine. So if you simplify this, you will get 17500. Again see in the denominator 175 3 zeros into 1750. So square root for the value, square root of answer, I'm sorry, let me simplify here. 175000 into 1750. Square root of answer will give you again 17500. So it will cancel, you will get 1. That is coefficient of correlation is equal to 1. So we have calculated only coefficient of correlation. Now what we have to, this is only one part of a question. Now we have to comment on the result. So this is the result obtained for us. That is R is equal to 1. Comment is the none other than, at the beginning of the session I have told you that correlation always lies between -1 and +1. Moreover, if it is equal to 1, we can say that, see here, this is the list I have explained. If R is equal to 1, then coefficient is perfect and positive. If R is equal to -1, then correlation is perfect and negative. Since here R is equal to 1, what is the comment that we can say? It is a perfect positive correlation. So that is the comment. Therefore, it is a perfect positive correlation. That's all. So you just go through the question, whatever the question given. Moreover, it consists of two main questions. First one is we have to find out the correlation, that is R value, we have done it. Now next part is we have to comment on the result. In the sense, nature of this correlation we have to comment. Since R is equal to 1, we can say it is perfect and positive correlation. If it is equal to exactly -1, we can say it is perfect and negative correlation. If it is equal to 0, then it cannot be possible. If R is equal to 0, then there is no matter of finding correlation. Fine. So this is what we have, and this is the fourth question. So let me solve the last question in this concept. Before that, hope so this concept is clear for you. Everything is depend on calculation. So I'll give you two homework problems. Here is the homework problems. You just solve these problems in the notes. We have to find the coefficient of correlation for these two problems. Moreover, answer is also clearly mentioned there. So please solve it in the notes. Hope so you will do this. Anyhow, let me solve one more problem. Since I'm doing all the steps for all the problems, almost all in one method, I'm trying to solve maximum problems. Only 1 to 2 problems is given for homework. Please at least do the same in the notes. Then only you will understand the method. Fine. So hope so you'll do this. Pause the video and write this problem. It is 73. Fine. So rest of the data will be visible clearly. Hope so. Fine. Now this is homework. Let me solve the last problem in correlation, that is coefficient of correlation. In the next session I'll be doing with the rank correlation or Spearman rank correlation. Anyhow, let me solve this problem. So we have to find the coefficient of correlation or Carl-Person coefficient of correlation. You should follow the same procedure. First let us note the given data, that is x and y. It is given by 6, 8, 12, 15, 18, 20, 24, 28, 31. Next y values is 10, 12, 15, 15, 18, 25, 22, 26, 28. Fine. So x and y values are given. Now write down the formula is equal to, I can write this as dx into dy, that is summation dx into dy divided by square root of sigma of dx square into sigma dy square. Fine. So first I have written the formula where dx can be calculated by using the formula x minus x bar, dy can be calculated by y minus y bar, where x bar is given by sigma x divided by n and y bar is given by sigma y divided by n. For that you need to calculate sigma x value. In the sense, as I said, you have to add all these values, whatever the values of x given. So use calculator. When you add, you will get 162. Similarly, add all the values of y, so you will get sigma y as 171. Fine. Now let me count the number of data given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So number of data here is 9. So n value will be 9. Now let us substitute. Sigma x is 162 divided by n is 9. So when you divide, you will get 18. Similarly, sigma y is 171 divided by n is 9. So when you divide, you will get it as 19. So since we obtain the values of x bar and y bar, so we can calculate dx and dy, right? Dx is given by x minus x bar. As we already calculated x bar, it is 18. Now let me subtract it from x values. That is x value. What is the value of x you have here? It is 6. Right? So 6 minus 18 you have to subtract. Whatever I have done so far for the problems, you have to follow the same procedure. 6 minus 18 is minus 12. 8 minus 18 is minus 10. 12 minus 18 is minus 6. 15 minus 18 is minus 3. 18 minus 18 is 0. 20 minus 18 is plus 2. 24 minus 18 is 6. 28 minus 18 is 10. Next 31 minus 18 is 13. Fine, next calculate dy value. It is given by y minus y bar. As I done, y bar is 19. So let me replace it with 19. That is y is 10. 10 minus 19 is minus 9. 12 minus 19 is minus 7. 15 minus 19 minus 4. 15 minus 19 is again minus 4. Next 18 minus 19 is minus 1. 25 minus 19 is 6. 22 minus 19 is 3. 26 minus 19 is 7. Next 28 minus 19 is 9. So I have calculated dy value. Next we have to calculate the square of the values. In the sense dx square, let me calculate. In the sense I have to square this. 12 square is 144. 10 square is 100. 6 square 36. 3 square 9. 0 square 0. 2 square 4. 6 square 36. 10 square is 100. 13 square is 169. Similarly dy square. Minus 9 square is 81. 7 square is 49. 4 square is 16. Again 4 square is 16. Next 1 square is 1. See, whenever you have minus, when you're going to square, you will get positive value. No need to worry about that. 6 square is 36. 3 square is 9. 7 square is 49. 9 square is 81. Now we need to calculate dx into dy. That is, you just multiply these two values. Minus into minus will be plus. 12 into 9 is 108. Minus into minus plus. 10 into 7 is 70. Next 6 fours are 24. So 3 fours are 12. 0 into anything will be 0. 2 6 are 12. Next 6 3s are 18. Next 10 7s are 70. Next 13 9s are 117. Fine. So I have calculated dx into dy value. Next we need to add the values, that is dx square, sigma dx square. You just add all these values, you will get 598. Similarly add all these values, you will get dy square. It is given by 338. Similarly you add all these values of dx into dy, you will get 431. Fine. So with these values, let me calculate coefficient of correlation. It is given by dx into dy is 431 divided by square root of dx square is 598 into dy square is 338. So when you simplify, you will get 431 divided by 449.5820. So after simplification, you will get 0.9586. Therefore, the required coefficient of correlation, or we can say it is a coefficient of, or Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation is 0.9586. So whatever the problems I have solved so far, all the answers will be in between -1 and +1 as per the property of correlation. Hope so you understand the concept of Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation. So in the next session, I will be doing the Spearman rank correlation. Anyhow, basics of that will be explained in this session only. Please go through that clearly. So I am reminding you once again, this is the homework problem. Please pause the video and write down, solve the same in the notes. Further, if you have any doubt, let me clarify in the next section. Thank you.